billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa khatibin nabiyyin. Brothers and sisters of Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is a very sad day because our hearts, our minds, our thoughts are and should be with the people who faced the terror in the city of Quetta in Pakistan. Children have been made orphan. Women have lost their husband. Children have lost their father. Homes have been destroyed. A city, a whole city and a group of people are in a state of mourning, sitting with the coffins of their loved ones, mourning their death, and are asking the question, why? What is the cause of the reason behind this brutal act of terror and carnage? To discuss this topic, this sad episode which have been repeated only after a few weeks or months, once again, under the very watching eyes of the government, the armed forces, the police, and those who hold the reign of law and order in the country. To discuss that, we have our sister here, Sayyida, and our brother Amin. And with this very brief introduction, let me go straight to Brother Amin and ask him this question. Brother, you were only a few weeks ago, you were here and we were discussing this very topic, this very sad episode that has taken place in the city of Quetta. Nowhere else but once again in a country which is called Pakistan and which has its capital called Islamabad. Names which relates to our great religion, to our great faith. How in this world at this time of and that such a calamity could fall upon a people. What do you think is the fault for which they paid such a heavy price?
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Assalamu alaikum, Doctor. I can't possibly give a reason because I don't believe there is a reason why these people have died, except there is a group of hypocrites within the Muslim community, not Muslims, hypocrites, who their only way of saying I am alive to anybody else is through destruction and terror. They are not a religious movement, they're gangsters, and they're ready to harm anyone who stands up. Sunni or Shia, they don't care. We know that there have been Shia alims who've spoken out and had members of their family killed. They faced death themselves. Anyone with the name that looks like they might be a Shia is at risk of personal assassination. And now women and children can't go to a market and shop in safety. There is no justification for this under any system of thought or government except the thoughts inspired by shaitan.
Indeed. Sister, it isn't just they are targeting able-bodied men, but I gather there are, in the coffins there lie the bodies, the mayyat of many women.
Yes, of course.
And
This is the thing.
tell me, did those women, were they bearing arms? Were they, had their guns and weapons in their hands that they should be killed in such a way?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you very much for this program. May Allah reward you and bless you, give you best health to do these type of more programs, mashallah, inshallah. Dr. Saab, very briefly, if I go back to the Mustang assassinations and blast and murders, the young boys and the husbands were slaughtered front the eyes of mothers. That time we heard that, and we have seen that pictures as well. And that time we haven't heard any woman, got injured or something. But this time,
Yes.
this is first time we heard in Quetta, Hazara community, the simple women who were buying things with children. And this is too much. This is the last stage, I think, the last stage of terrorism, when we stand, when we understand, when we approach these oppressors. The 13 bodies of women and 18 children, various human rights organizations. And no, before this people said, Labbaik Ya Hussain, no, all women came out. You can see television, and they are, holding the banners, and they said, we need peace, and Labbaik Ya Zainab. You can understand the pain and hurdles and the problems and the situation, what they are facing and suffering, what the tough time they are suffering there. So I think there is no way to bear that government and that law. This is law and order situation. They are failed. So people should understand, and through your program you can put that point, and you can pick out that point. And our brother Amin, he has approach in Parliament as well. He's just before the program, he was talking about, he's going to talk in that Parliament House about that killing situation in Pakistan as well. So we request all of you, please, do something to stop these things in Pakistan.
Our sister here says do something. Our brother here, Amin, says how sad he is and saddened by this episode, which no one which has got a bit of common sense and a human heart can think of the carnage that has taken place. You who are listening and watching this program, what is your view? What do you think? Why such episodes, one after another, is occurring in the country which was formed for one purpose and one aim and objective, that will be a land of Islam, and it will have salamat, the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is your duty, who you are watching this program, and what is our duty, and what is all of our duty when such things take place? Should we keep quiet? Should we shut our doors and close our eyes and shut our eyes and close our hearts to this? No.
If
Islam doesn't allow that. Islam says, speak up against the zalim and in favor of the Mazloom. And these people who died in this carnage, in this bombing, they are in true sense Mazloom, and we cannot shut our eyes and plug our ears and behave deaf to this. We have got to speak out. And to do this,
one point I just need to ask both of you, our great scholars. If one person, Malala, got injured, everyone came out from their houses, they got candles, they prayed. Can you think if 11 years old girl is important in the eyes of UNO, in the eyes of America? Actually, they announced in 2013, Peace Award is going to be the name of Malala. She's getting that award. So, being a simple woman, what I can expect from that political, thought and that, pro-Zionist, I don't know what type of, because who's are, spreading that terrorism, who's are doing that, as Brother Amin said, shaitan. They are not Muslim, even Islam has they have no Islam in their hearts. Obviously, if they are not practicing good, there is no Islam. So if they are practicing badly and they are killing the people, there is no mean children or women and men. Who's are behind them? Who's are giving them? They are not Sunnis, they are not Shias. So this program, as you said, this time we need to declare we are with them.
Yes.
We are with the oppressors. We are with that Muslim people who are suffering with their bodies. If anyone from any channel is quiet and they are not declaring, they didn't say any word even, this is bad, this not should be happen, this, whatever they got in their hearts. There is no time to take plan, make story, make points, make topics. No, you go and just say, declare what is your iman, what is your faith, where you are standing, how you love with Muslims, how you stand with that people. If anyone sitting quietly in any channel, in government, in UK, in Europe, anywhere, I think if they are not declaring the situation of Quetta, where people are suffering, if they are not with them, where they are they with Taliban's? Are they with that militants? Or they are with that
Group of
terrorist peoples? We need to.
Brother, I mean, murders take place here and there in every country. When a life is lost, an investigation team comes in. First of all, they try to find the motive of the murder, of a carnage, of an episode. And the motive is, after this murder, after this carnage, who is going to be benefiting from it? So, at once, these investigating officers put their mind, okay, this has happened, who is going to benefit from it? And then they point the fingers in that direction, the ones who will benefit from this murder, from this carnage, from this such heinous episode. What do you think? Who are the people who will benefit from taking lives of young children, of mothers, of young men, in a street, in a marketplace?
The only people who can benefit from this are power-hungry, ignorant people. We saw with the shooting of Malala, they want people to remain ignorant. They don't want girls to go to school, because if girls go to school, they'll educate the children. The educational standard of the whole of society will raise, and they won't accept this distorted literalist interpretation of the deen. They're power hungry. They think they're more important than anyone. And if they're taking lives like this, they even think they're more important than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They can destroy life against the word of Allah just because they feel like it, because they don't agree with someone. These are crimes to humanity. And they're not just against the victims who've died, they're against the whole of Pakistan. Every decent Muslim human being in Pakistan is tarnished and threatened by these actions. You could be the Grand Mufti of Al-Azhar, but if you're standing in the wrong place in Pakistan, or you've got a name like Ali, your life is threatened.
Yes, this is the situation now
This takes terror,
with the names.
guilt and shame into every living room in Pakistan and throughout the Pakistani diaspora. Most of the Pakistanis I know are decent, good Muslims, good neighbours, good friends. These few people feeding on ignorance and this perverse desire for power are tarnishing all of their reputations, and that's one of the great sadnesses on top of the terrible loss of life and limbs. A 4-year-old boy sitting in the street, the one foot attached to his leg has had the shoe blown off. The foot with the shoe on is no longer attached to his leg. You know, this is a sight that you cannot get used to. You can't get hardened to that sort of horrible cruelty and callousness. The silence. People are frightened to speak out. But Imam Ali alayhi salam said, the only shameful death is to die with arrows in your back, to be a coward, to turn from your enemy. We're in public life. There was a death threat, I believe, against an Hidayat announcer the other day, a host. I'm glad I'm just a guest. It doesn't apply to me. What sort of people are these that they'll threaten someone for saying this is unjust, this is a crime? If we look back to the Gujarat massacres, just Muslims were killed. And we know there are a lot of Shias in Gujarat. Why now is these are Shias, those are Sunnis? Who's trying to divide us? It's not Islam that divides us.
Brothers and sisters, it's time for Azan, and inshallah after the break we shall join you once again in this program. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Brothers and sisters, welcome to this program. We are discussing today, there is no room, there is no place, there is no occasion for us to remain silent and pretend, close our eyes, give a deaf ear to the carnage, loss of life that has taken place in the community of Hazara, in the city of Quetta, in Pakistan. We have with us our scholar, an alim in his own right, Brother Amin. To him, I must put this question, that brother, tell me, is Pakistan a failed state, where the army is unable to protect its own borders, where the foreign jets and planes come and bomb its citizens, where the police are not able to patrol its streets and give protection and safety to the people that walk those pavements, where the politicians who sit in lofty houses and parliaments are unable to give protection and assurance to the people of the country that they will have a house to live in peace, streets to walk in peace, shopping to do in peace. Is Pakistan in its real and true sense a failed state or not?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I may shock you, but no. Pakistan is a dysfunctional state, but when you say a failed state, it's gone beyond redemption. And I see in the hearts of the Pakistani people the desire to live a good Islamic life, to live in a secure country. Getting that message across to politicians, the military, and the security forces in general in Pakistan is another matter. We have to remember as well that Pakistani self-worth is low. They're a country that are constantly being accused of harbouring terrorists. They're subject to drone strikes, and they have the Taliban drones running wild throughout the country. You can't even go to hospital. You may not die from disease because somebody may just walk in and shoot you and stroll away again. This is a dysfunctional state, but it's not a state that's beyond repair. But the desire of the people has to turn into the will of the politicians and the people who can control security. And we in the West have a role to play in that.
Yeah.
Pakistan isn't a third world country. Potentially it's a world leading country. And we should be saying to Pakistanis, come on, live up to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. You can do it. To borrow a sentiment from Barack Obama, Pakistan can do it.
Yeah, mashallah. Great thing.
Pakistan can do it. Pakistan, according to our brother Sheikh Amin here, is not a failed state. It has failed in its role to fulfill its obligations, but that doesn't mean the quality, the caliber, the ability is not there. Ability may be there, caliber may be there, the administrative power and structure may be there, but you know, when Mawla Kainat Ali ibn Abi Talib al-Islam sent Malik Ashtar on a mission to Africa, he made sure that this message got through. Malik, your duty is first to protect the minority. Malik, your duty is to protect their houses. Malik, your duty is to protect their places of worship. In the school of Ahl al-Bayt, in the school of Muhammad Ali Muhammad, this is the lesson and the responsibility is given to an administrator. But in Pakistan, tell me, sister, we have got ulama, both Shia ulama and non-Shia ulama. Is it not the duty that when they read, it so happens that the Quran is the same, the surah are the same, the ayat are the same, the very dot, zabar and zair are the same? Why can't they, for once, wake up and come to the platform and say, stop this carnage? Because this book that I hold in my hand, this book that you hold in your hand, says that if you take one life unnecessarily, unjustly, you have destroyed the whole of humanity.
World, and you will be in hell permanently. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think I will take that point from Brother Amin, and mashallah, you raised a very good point as well. Why not Pakistan can lead, is leading country, he said. Actually, Dr. Saab, the enemies of Islam, they understand and they knew Pakistan got leading power. Pakistan got
the ability
the most intelligent, intellectual people. Pakistan got that character.
Just take a call.
That's
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Who is this?
शेर अली नकवी इंडिया काशीपुर से बोल रहा हूँ.
Okay. Please.
भाई आप सबल रात को सबसे पहले तो ये सानिया कोयटा हुआ, इसके लिए इसकी सभी ताजियत पेश करता हूँ.
शुक्रिया, हमारा भी.
और मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि हमारी जो सिस्टर है उम्मे फरवा, तो इस प्रोग्राम को ऊपर आधा घंटा 20 मिनट का एक प्रोग्राम हो जिसमें खाली हमारे जो सिस्टर हैं तो ये इस प्रोग्राम को ऊपर एक तकरीर करें जिससे हमारी सिस्टर की जो आवाज़ है वो सारी दुनिया
8
तक
बजे प्रोग्राम
जाए
कर
और
रहे
सब
हैं।
लोगों को ये पता चले कि इस तरह से करने वाले क्या मुसलमान हैं या इंसान है, इंसान भी नहीं है वो लोग। कितना बुरा हाल किया हुआ है इन लोगों ने इमाम हुसैन के चाहने वालों का।
8 बजे आ रहा है प्रोग्राम।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
हाँ, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. Our sister here actually after this program there is another program and she will be leading a program specifically designed for at 8 o'clock, especially designed to pay our respect and give our encouragement and be shareek, participate in the gham, in the sorrow of the people of Hazara in the city of Quetta.
Quetta. I will continue that point
Yes.
which I have discussed with you. According to Brother Amin, yes, because enemies knew that, they understand Islam, Pakistan got that characters. That's why they hired that militants, that shaitans, and the people who haven't got any faith. They hired them and they killed our doctors, our traders, our best scholars, our best sincere community leaders, our best pious, honest, bataqwa women, everywhere. So that's the point where I raised before when we were in break, and I discussed with you. The enemies
if you don't
understand.
mind, I will just take another call and
Sorry,
we will
yeah.
continue with
Yeah,
your
yeah.
answer.
It's all right, it's all
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Who is it speaking, please, and from where?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Nasser.
जी हाँ.
मैं सिर्फ कहना चाहता हूँ कि मैं भी पाकिस्तान से हूँ. मैं अहले सुन्नत वल जमात का हूँ, लेकिन जो है ये जो हुआ है ना बलूचिस्तान में,
जी हाँ.
ये जिसने भी किया है ये मुसलमान नहीं हो सकते.
Exactly.
ये जो है इस बिल्कुल कोई भी किसी किस्म का मुसलमान जितना भी गिरा हो वो ऐसा काम नहीं कर सकता.
See,
जी हाँ.
this is a
शुक्रिया.
declaration that we need.
In a way, Brother Amin, I initially asked you this very question, I'm repeating again, that there must be some people who are going to benefit from this carnage, who are behind this. They are ignorant people whose mind can be manipulated to take such actions as this, but there are powers behind the scene. And if we look at the Muslim world at the moment, only yesterday the news came out that Saudi Arabia had allowed secret bases to be built by American in the heart of, they say, we are the servants who look after the Haramain, right? And in between the two Haramain, they implanted American bases quietly with drone bases. Those drone bases actually carried out secret murder and killing missions in Yemen and other countries around it, and similarly in Pakistan. And these missions and bases, and yesterday only Turkey got its first IWACS plane from, guess from whom? From Israel. So it is a power of the Israelis, the Swedes and Qataris who have combined to create such a chaos in the Muslim world that they benefit and their partners benefit. As our sister said and you said yourself, that this Pakistan is not a failed state. But if it is not a failed state, shouldn't this Brother Amin, it should take steps that the influence, the infiltrators, the perpetrators of these crimes who sit in Jeddah, Tel Aviv and Qatar do not take advantage of a community in Pakistan which had lived in peace, with like brothers and sisters, no distinction between Shia and Shia. They have lived for years, right? All of a sudden they are at one other's throat. So shouldn't Pakistan close protect its borders, protect its people, to be influenced by the money, the dollar, the ill-begotten dollar and wealth that accumulated, to be used in a negative way, making Muslims fight Muslims, Muslims kill Muslims?
Yeah, they.
Of course they should, but we're not looking at something that's just happened in the last 2 or 3 years. If we
Yeah,
go
it's
further
planned.
back,
It's
we
planned.
see people interfering in Kashmir,
Yeah,
in
Palestine.
promoting Azad Mirpur
Yeah.
as to be separate from the rest of Kashmir. We see people trying to set people from Islamabad against other cities. What's going
Yeah.
on here? We see people saying, oh, this territory isn't really part of Pakistan. They're not like us. From partition onwards, Pakistan has always been obstructed in building a positive national identity. Chipped away at. And you ask why. Pakistan is not just a beautiful country, it's a country packed with natural resources
Exactly.
that not necessarily governments, but commercial interests
Hazara,
want to get
most
at
beautiful
the
place.
cheapest possible price. If Pakistan is kept on more or less subsistence level for most of the population, labour is cheap, materials are sold for nothing because the rich man makes enough selling the precious materials as scrap because he doesn't have to pay off that protects the Haramain as he
MashaAllah.
protects the Quran. And our way forward isn't to be constantly trying to fight these ignorant people. We have to fight them, of course, but our way forward is to rise above them, to focus our eyes on the examples that were given within Islam of how to build a state, how to administer a state. We need our leaders throughout the world, and Pakistan in particular, to focus on the morality in the lesson of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and the Aima, alayhim salam. We don't need to look beyond them to see how you should administer, what ethos should rule a state. The details, whether it's a democracy, whether it's a theocracy, or whether it's a dictatorship, does the ordinary man really care as long as he is treated justly and can feed his family and can walk the streets in safety? This is the first objective of any government, of any people.
Brothers and sisters of
We are
Islam,
with oppressed peoples. Yeah.
we've come to the end of this program, I'm afraid, but our joint appeal from all three of us here on the panel is to all of you, all those listening, Pakistanis or non-Pakistanis, Muslims or non-Muslims. Let us, with one voice, condemn the perpetrators of this heinous act and carnage that took place in the city of Quetta. Let us pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is the one who gives life, He is the one who takes life. May those who died for one fault only, fault of being believers of Allah's Tawheed, Allah's Adalat, and for their act of being Muhibba Ahl al-Bayt, let Allah in His justice treat them as shaheed or as shuhada in their belief and faith.
Our condolences to the family of
And
Professor Dr. Ali Haider.
And those, especially the doctor who died yesterday with his son, and all those who were made shaheed, our heart and soul and prayers with them. On to the people of Pakistan, please unite. Just the way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took the hands of Ansar and Muhajir and made them into brothers. Oh, the people of Pakistan, rise from this carnage and bring in a new leaf, a new chapter in in the long progression of Islam in Pakistan. Live like brothers. Live like brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked you when you say your salat, when you say your azan, and when you go for your sajda, all you ask is Allah's blessing. May Allah's blessing be upon all of you in Pakistan. May He give you the tawfiq of unity, of ittafaq and ittihad. Inna Allah malaikatu yusalluna nabi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.